the big W himself, Walt Mossberg, who's going to weigh in. Well, thank you for joining us. He joins us from Washington, D.C. To talk about a device that turns Skype into a group chat on a big screen.
Hi, Simon.
Hi,
Lauren. Yeah, so everybody knows about Skype, and lots of people do Skype video chats on their computers, and even some do it now on their smartphones and iPads. But most Skype video chats, of course, are one person to one person, maybe two people kind of squeezed together around a webcam. A company called telyLabs in Silicon Valley has come out with a thing you put on top of your high-def TV. It has a wide-angle lens. It has 4 mics. It has Skype and Android built in. And what it does is it lets you take in an entire room in a Skype chat. So if you had a party or you're a whole bunch of friends or your whole family, whatever, and you wanted to communicate with either a single person or a whole bunch of people on another telyHD, you could do it.
Now, one of the features about telyHD, of course, Walt, is that it is HD. It gives you HD video. And Simon, I know that you know Walt's my boss now. I'm not just saying this because you're my boss, Walt. That HD video, you look marvelous. You just look wonderful. But seriously, I'm curious as to whether people on the other end, if they're just using a plain old computer or running VoIP like Skype, how do they get the HD experience?
Well, I don't know. Supposedly, and I suppose it depends on what device you're using, you should be able to see that HD experience on the part of the person, with the telyHD. When I looked at people calling me, including you and I had a Skype conversation on this. You were on a computer. You look great, but you weren't in HD on my end. I think you have to have 2 HD devices, one on either end, to get the full HD both directions.
So, when you say in your column that you basically had a group chat with your family as well. Was that a good experience, or was it a bad experience because you got to see people with hangovers? Like if my mother tried to get me on a Saturday morning using this, bloodshot eyes, everything.
Well, my 2 sons and my daughter-in-law, we scheduled specific times when we were going to do this, so they were ready. I mean, it's like any Skype chat. You don't. I don't think people normally just barge in on each other. I think there's some prearrangement around it, and you don't have to accept it. In fact, on this device, there's even a physical shield that you can pull down over the lens in case somebody figures out a way to hack into it or something. But all in all, I think this is a really well-built device, and I'm not saying there's I don't know how big the market is for it, but I think there are a lot of people, families, and small businesses also, that would find it useful to, in their case, let's say, have a conference room encompassed in this. There's a lot of teleconferencing equipment. It's very expensive, and this one isn't so expensive.
Now, there is a remote, but you didn't love the remote. Tell us about that.
No, the remote isn't very good. The build quality on the device is quite nice. The build quality on the remote is quite poor, and the buttons were really hard to press. But the good news is they know that. They've already designed a new remote, which I have not tried, although they showed it to me on a Skype chat, and they say they are going to not only start shipping it, but they will replace the older remotes with the new remotes for free for people who've purchased one.
Nice. So, well, when you review products, often you get a good sense of whether things are gonna take off or not. Do you think this one is going to be one of those things that people are just going to love and just going to grab it?
Oh, we're not talking about 37 million iPhone scale things, but I think this has a good chance. It's a niche. It's not necessarily a tiny niche, but it's a niche of people who want to do video chatting and want to do it family to family or group to group or a team to team in a business sense. And yeah, I think this has a good chance. There are some competitors. Some smart TVs have Skype built in, and you can just buy a simple webcam and do it. And there's another product that uses Google's voice chat service. So there'll be some competitors, but I think there's a market there for this. And they can add apps. Because this is Android, they can add different features and apps. For instance, the next software version is going to tie into iPads and let you wirelessly beam the video from an iPad through this onto a TV and do some other things. You can already share photos on it, so they have a lot of room to add features to this. And if they get some volume, they might even be able to cut the price.
Okay. Well,
which is $250 in case we didn't mention it, but
$250.
Walt has that in his column.
$250, yeah.
$250 plus the cost of the HD TV at both ends.
Well, the assumption is you already have that. Not you necessarily, Simon.
Oh,
but
well pointed out there, Walt. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
The big
Walt.
W himself, Walt Mossberg.